Hello, everybody. This is Steve Rao, the host of the Leaders and Legends show on Radio Nyra, and we want to welcome you to this Asian American Heritage Month special edition with a real trailblazer, Cary Council Member Sarika Bansal. We're honored to have her here in the station, and rather than reading her impressive bio, I want to get right to work and want to thank you for having you come to the studio. And we are honored to have you here live today on Radio Nyra, the first Indian American woman to ever serve in the Cary Council, Sarika Bansal.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Steve. Steve, you're my brother, and you kind of helped me get elected, so I appreciate it. I'm so happy that I'm here today.
Thank you. We couldn't think of a better person to interview during this podcast. I have a conversation with you during Asian American Heritage Month, so thank you all so much. And I want to first of all just begin a little bit about your personal journey. Kind of where you grew up, your background, and then what brought you to this place in Cary, and what motivated you to run for office.
Sure. I came to US when I was 17 years old. Like any other immigrant, my challenges were real. Same thing, I didn't have money. The language was a barrier. I did not know anyone in the United States. So, kind of starting from scratch. Life was different, but, I survived.
Did you ever imagine you'd be a council member?
No, I did not actually. In fact, my brother mentioned this during the election when there was a long line. Everybody was just voting for me, and he said, did you ever imagine you stood in the line to get visa and there were hundreds of people standing ahead of you in the line, and now today those many people are standing in the line to vote for you? So that was a very humbling moment. And I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate everybody's love, and that motivates me every single day. The reason why I ran was really representation matters to me. And I felt like having that representation on the table when the decisions are being made in town of Cary was critical. And here I am today serving the residents of town of Cary.
What are some of the things that excite you about Cary today? It's one of the top places. Just congratulations on recently being rated as the #1 place to live and work, although I'll always make a case for Morrisville, but I think it's great. Tell me about some things you're excited about.
I think there's so many good things in town of Cary. We are our cultural diversity, and there's our downtown Cary Park, the economic development opportunities that exist in town of Cary. We have a TST tournament going on where Cary is very, very invested. That brings alone like $10+ million worth of revenue to the town. So we have all these great things, in the pipeline, and the council is committed to doing this and more for the residents.
Yeah, and as a former college tennis player, I'll tell you, I'm working now kind of at the national level with the USTA. When you go to New York, people, when you say you're from North Carolina, the tennis players will say, "Oh, do you know Cary?" Some of the best players in the world have played in Cary, from Ben Shelton, who got the U.S. semis, Tiafo, some of the greats. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
That Cary's
and
doing
now we
a lot
will
of
have
stuff.
our own cricket ground soon.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that, and I hope we can promote more youth. Someone actually who is very prominent within the cricket circuit told me that most girls who play cricket, they actually live in my district.
Yeah.
And it is a fun fact. It's an interesting fact for me. And I also learned that majority of the time it's very hard for girls to get a cricket ground for practice. So that's something Cary has recognized, and we are working with various different subject matter experts to see what can Cary do and how do we bring the equity in the game.
That's great. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Looking forward to watching that, bring you back on to talk about that. Before we get into a little bit more of your leadership questions, I do want to ask you about the challenges of Cary. Let's set aside growth and infrastructure and talk recently about some articles and media coverage has been run about what happened with the town management administration. Do you have any comments to the community of how this is being handled and what we need to do to support Cary through this?
I think when we started realizing that there was something wrong, there were some council members who really started digging deep into this. It was back in August, and we were right at the cusp of the election time. So, it was seen as a political step. So we kind of took a step back and let, the elections play out. And then after that, we kind of went deeper into the conversations with the rest of the council. And that's where, the council decided that it's best to separate from the former town manager, Sean Siegel. Sean was a very charismatic person. He had a vision. He had a vision. He was a leader, and that's what exactly Cary needed. At when we hired him a decade ago, and I was not on the council back then. But what my colleagues have shared with me that the challenges really started 2 years ago, and that was around the time when I got elected. So I never saw the best of Sean. Maybe I don't know. I hate to say that, but because he was. I felt he was, kind of a visionary, and we could learn so many things from him. But yes, there were challenges and things that were coming out that the environment in the office was very toxic. There was obviously some examples that have come out of mismanagement of funds. Like today, something, or maybe 2 days ago, something came out about videos where
Yes.
about 330K was spent to create this content over the 2 years. And to be very honest, the council does not really get into that kind of decision making. But when this kind of information started coming out, I actually asked our interim town manager Russ Overton to give us a list of such expenses and start cutting those out.
Right.
Because Cary is not going to tolerate this anymore. But there is, I think there is we are at a turning point, but there is a phase this is the phase that we're all going through together, that we have to deal with some of the decisions that were taken by the former town manager, and we cannot undo those decisions. We have to live with those decisions right now and slowly kind of move towards a little bit more leaner budget.
Okay, I mean, that's good. Well, we wish you all the best as you deal with the situation, and we thank you for bringing these issues open to the public, and
I
thank you for your
promote
service.
transparency, and I feel like,
Right.
whether good, bad, ugly, everything should be out in front of public. And if this is an information that people need to know, then here it is. There's an article about this. You can go and read online. But the fact is that some of these decisions were taken by the former town manager when he was here, and there's nothing we can do right now to undo those decisions. But what we can do is, what is in our control is that next year you will not see these kind of things on our budget.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's talk a little bit about the budget. Let's pick up on that as the next question. You're voting on the budget soon. What are people are listening to the show live? If I'm living, what are some things that you're excited about in this year's budget priorities? If people still have some feedback and input, what can they do to?
So I want our listeners to know a little bit about myself. That I'm fiscally conservative, and so I look at every expense from the lens of, do we really need this? And it's not. It's something inherent in me, because this is how we grew up. This is how our parents function, and I grew up watching them. Like, you save for rainy days. And that's the kind of mindset that I have, and we are going into these kind of discussions with the rest of the council and with the town staff. So currently, and this is not final yet, currently the town interim town manager is suggesting 3.75 cents per $100 increase in tax. That's only for town of Cary. Now we're still like, a lot of people can still reach out, and they can still share their opinion, and they can tell us what is important to them. But I feel like, from my perspective, there's so much misinformation out there. So I would say, please take the time to educate yourself. This budget, in 1 decade, this is first budget that is focused primarily on public safety.
Okay.
So we will hire 20 police officers, 20 firefighters, 6 communications. So when you call 911, then there are people who actually answer your call.
Right.
So we are kind of short on that number. So we need 6 of them, because they work it's a 24/7 job. So we need people to rotate. So there's 6 people that we want to hire in that area. So there's a list of new positions that the town wants to hire, and majority of the budget is going through to public safety. There are other critical things like we had a 2019 bond in town of Cary, which was our citizens approved those projects.
That's right.
And if we do not start working on them this year, we can never do those projects again.
Right.
We will have to bring them back on another bond. So instead of doing that, what we have done is, as a council, we're discussing what projects are important. There are 3 fire stations. Cary is growing, so we need 3 fire stations right now, 1 in southern part of Cary and 2 in western part of Cary. And these are going through a design phase. And we have already constituted money for the fire engines and all the things that we will need to build this fire station. So I'm very excited about that. And then there's a big project in my district, which is Carpenter Fire Station widening. I think that project is very critical. When the project was on the bond, I believe it was for $5 million, and today with the way inflation is going on, it is $25 million.
It's really the costs are going
The
up.
cost is going up, so it's this
Right.
year we're going to allocate 19 million.
Right.
If this budget gets approved, we will allocate 19 million, and the rest of the money will be kind of budgeted next year. So that's the plan that we have, and we're kind of smoothing it out. So this is a well thought out process. I'm not saying that we cannot bring efficiencies. We can. There's an area, for example, Cary provides free police service to a lot of events that are happening in town, and we need to start thinking about pulling that kind of support, because our police officers are overworked because of that.
And that's one of my questions. There's a lot of diversity. You've been involved with the Diwali proclamations for our community events like Holi, whatever. But as we do that, there's going to be more demands on public service, more police officers to staff events, things like that.
And that's what we have discussed internally with the staff. Now we want to reevaluate what Cary can do and what Cary cannot do.
Right.
And how much can we leverage our staff. So those kind of conversations are on the table. I am a big proponent that we should not be letting our public safety, like police and firefighters, work overtime. They should not be overworked. So
they shouldn't be overworked. And we have to pay them as well good money too.
Exactly.
As costs go up. And real quickly, just for those people listening, one thing we don't, as Cary grows and they benefit from these kinds of budget expansions for public safety, Morrisville and Apex benefit too. A lot of people don't realize that our fire departments all work together, particularly Morrisville and Cary. And I want the public to know that. So we could spend an hour on the budget, but it's good to know some of your priorities. As a small business owner, you also are the owner of Roz Jewels. What are some things Cary is doing to support small businesses and innovation?
So one of the things that I was very passionate about, that I wanted to help small businesses, and I wanted to cut the time off, when they decide that they want to start the business and actually starting the business. And the permit process is very intense and aggressive, right. And sometimes people feel lost in the process. Almost every other day I get a call from a small business owner that I need help with this permit.
Right.
And it's not something that the staff is holding the work. It's just a miscommunication between the parties. Most 9 out of 10 times is what I have figured out. So we have introduced a position, a business liaison, who's going to be actually working directly, hand-holding the small business owners and helping the staff understand what they need. So like kind of being the negotiator between these two parties, and help the process, fast track the process, so that small businesses don't have to suffer with like delays, and they don't have to incur losses at the beginning of starting their business. So things like those is something that I'm working on.
That's good. And one question I'll get off, we have about 7 more minutes. Technology, AI, you come from a tech background, to what extent can entrepreneurs be looking to help Cary with keeping up with this innovation?
I think that we have a very significant amount of budget allocated to technology. We're rebuilding our technology group in town of Cary, and kind of hitting on a path where we need to be a little bit more mature, and and we have a position that is really going to focus only on smart growth. So, we are kind of strategically planning so that in next 10 years, we can be ahead from other municipalities.
Oh, that's great to know. We'll give you an opportunity to let people know where they can get a hold of you. Got a few more questions, but I think we're going to dive into some leadership questions. First of all, I mean, you've got a great family. I want to just, are there any one or two leaders that you look up to that have helped shape who you are today as a person?
I think, I've kind of observed from many leaders in our in the triangle. There's so many great people, like school board chair Tyler Swanson is my very good friend. He's my best friend, and we often talk and we exchange ideas, and we'll tell each other that this is probably the right way to do things, some ideas here or there. So that's very inspiring. Senator Sidney Batch is a great mentor and friend. Senator Gail Adcock, she's very, very influential, and I love Gail Adcock, and we have Jay Chaudhary. So all these great examples, Yalu, Maria Sorania. I mean, I'm very much in touch with them, and I regularly meet them. I get along very well with my council colleagues also, so that makes life easier. Like Councilwoman Michelle Craig is amazing. Now we have new people, Brittany Richards and Bella Wong and Carissa Johnson has been there. She got re-elected. Lori Bush and our mayor, all great people, that we can learn something from.
That's great. That's really good to know. Any advice, before I get into some rapid fire questions, to young leaders listening to the show? There's young Indian Americans or Asian Americans. How would you encourage them to follow in your footsteps?
I would say that, don't let anyone define who you are.
Okay.
Own your own narrative.
Okay.
And go, just be focused and keep moving, because nobody else is going to come and help you. You have to help yourself.
Okay, great. And we got some fun questions, and like this makes the part of the interview fun. This has become my favorite part. And the purpose of the Leader Show is to get to know our leaders better. We're even going to be bringing Governor Stein on this fall, hopefully, and we're going to be asking him some personal questions about this guy.
Okay.
Like what kind of soccer style does he like? What's his favorite food? But let's start with, do you get up early in the morning, or you stay up late, or are you an early riser?
I'm an early riser, and I am a party pooper. And there could be a very happening party happening, around me with great people, great friends, but I will still start yawning at 9 p.m. So I sleep at 9 p.m.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, exactly. What are some of your favorite places in Cary for food?
Oh my God!
Or any.
I am a foodie. I like Lime and Lemon. I like Urban and Geety.
Me too.
I enjoy BLR food. I mean, all these restaurants are so amazing. I love Coletta, Biramanda.
Oh yeah, those are good play. Do you have a favorite sports team?
Sports team. I'm not a sports
You're not
person.
really a sports person.
I'm not a sports person.
Okay, all right. What if you were to describe Cary in one word, or I'll give you two or three? What would those words be?
Oh
and
my
you
God!
can't
Yes.
use your logo. Live inspired. That's a disqualifier. I'll put you on the spot.
Resilient.
Ah, I love it. Resilient. Good for you. If you didn't pursue a career in public service, what else would you want to be doing with your life?
I'm actually doing that right now. I think I'm kind of living my dream. I'm very passionate about cybersecurity, information security, identity and access management. I'm the head of INAM for a very, very good financial firm. And I also kind of co-own Raj Jewels, and me and my husband run this business in Morrisville. So I think I'm in a very good place where I'm doing things at this point where what I really love to do.
That's great. I mean, this is exciting. And my last question would be, do you have a book? Any favorite books that you read, or do you not have time to read?
So I'm not a book reader, but I read one book which kind of inspired me. It's called Too Big to Fail.
Okay.
It's about the Wall Street, and how when Lehman went down, how every CEO and what he was doing during those 12 hours in the night. They were all in the conference room together discussing the future of this country.
Oh, that's great. Is there anything else you'd like to close out with, as we've enjoyed our time together? We're going to bring you back. 30 minutes isn't enough with you.
Oh, thank you so much, Steve. I think one thing I would just leave everyone with is have trust. in the leadership. We are trying our best. We have already taken hard decisions. Now we need to smoothen this out. Things that you're hearing in the media right now, they're really about what past decisions were. And my goal right now is, how do we start thinking about forward? Like, what is the next step? What are we going to do next? How do we cut costs? Like, my objective is that we should not be raising taxes, but is that even possible, right? With focus on public safety projects. So things like those, please have some trust and stay connected. Please make sure that you are reaching out and you're providing your side of story to me. I'm always open for a conversation.
This is great, and you can always go to the Town of Cary website to get your email or contact information. We want to thank you for being a special Asian American Heritage Month guest, a trailblazer, a part of the Trailblazer Club. As I've always said, the best thing about being first is to know you're not last, and now we have a growing list of Indian American and Asian Americans, and hoping to see that number grow over time. And if you want to be on the Leader Show, please shoot me a note. And this is a great show. We're really having a lot of fun with it, and it's also a podcast. And so I want to thank you for being with us today. And as Walter Cronkite used to say, and that's the way it is, May 22nd, 2026. I always wanted to say that. He was one of my heroes as a kid, Walter Cronkite. So, but thank you all so much. And,
thank you so much, Steve.
Look forward to a wonderful year at Cary.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.